Hey everybody, how was everyone emptying their mythril pool all for Beatrix USB? Is that really all that's on this banner? Ugh. Oh, that's okay. This is USB, isn't it? That's not bad either. Ever since finding out that no real water users can use robes, besides what? Shadow? Okay, that's good. What'd you get, John? Dorgana's a better knight with a better dive? Versus who? Leo? Beatrix is holy, Dorgana's earth. They're not comparable. Yeah, but their soul breaks are elementally focused. They actually just have nothing to do with each other. You're not going to use Beatrix on teams that Dorgan are on, and you're not going to use Dorgan on any teams that you would use Beatrix on. Should probably MC3 Shadow. Leo is Holy and Earth with his Ultra. I was actually looking over that banner in Discord with some people today. So that is a good banner. That is one of the few good event banners that are coming out between this festival and the next festival. Yeah, let's do Shadow. So there's really nothing to go over with this event. I knew it wasn't going to be a popular banner because while Beatrix USB is really awesome, it's not paired up with much good. Zidane USB. But that's not enough, especially because this is March, and there's a potentially great festival coming out in a couple weeks. You can't pull on a banner with just two good relics on it. Really? Yeah. It's just a low value event banner, unfortunately. Alright, where are you, Shadow? Cyan graduated. Well, you don't have to do that much to make Zidane's USB good. You just... calling going into trance mode a hoop that you don't want to jump through is... I don't think that's honest, because there's plenty of trance modes, and I believe his is one of them, that is worth it. Like Terra's, Vivi's. Like, moving all of your ability cast to instant speed is pretty great. Luckily, thief abilities don't take a lot of dark orbs. Their primary is usually what? Wind? Wow. Cyclone Bolt is here. If only I could go after it. I have to wait till tomorrow. Oh yeah, there's definitely going to be more pulls on Banner 2 than Banner 1. Banner 2 is a pretty decent event banner. Yeah, of course, again, that goes without saying. No one should play otherwise. It's better to get from the choice banner, Titus OSB. Well, we don't know what's going to be on the choice banner yet, Bane, so... I'm not gonna... I'll answer the question, because I suppose we can assume that it'll be the same. But, but it could change. Here's the thing, is Bartz's AOSB is insane. Yeah, I know you're gonna have to gotcha pull for that. And ever since the release of that, I haven't been as high on getting the OSB anymore. Yeah, exactly. Titus OSB is still a water sword. I think it's more valuable than the Bart stuff. You will eventually be able to select Bartz's water BSB off of a banner that doesn't have... Not a banner, off of a selection. Library selection. That doesn't have a whole lot of good stuff on it. So Bartz's water BSB is actually one of the better draws on that. I honestly think the best draws off of... Or the best selections off of what we believe is going to be on this banner would be the elemental stuff like Titus's OSB and Lunet's OSB. What else is on the banner? We got Final Fantasy 1 is Warrior of Light's OSB. Not bad. Holy Sword, though. So it doesn't have the same allure as the rarer elements like Wind and Water. 2 is Maria? Or Firion? I think both are probably... Yeah, Maria's actually be decent. Would be actually decent, but... Furion's wouldn't be. I think 3 is Luneth, 4 is... Cecil? Kind of the same situation as Warrior of Light. The Warrior of Lights would be better. 5 is Bart, 6 is Celeste, which I'm not really feeling Celeste, because kind of like with Maria on Final Fantasy 2, if her OSB was on there. Celeste's OSB is not what she wants to be casting. When Celeste becomes good, it's because she gets an ability double USB. An ability double means that you're basically getting maximum value out of every turn that you spend by using abilities, not soul breaks. An OSB cast by her has a, what, you know, a 12, an 11.5 to a 12 multiplier in there somewhere. And that's a 2.5 second cast, while if she uses a soul, a Spellblade, that's a... God, with all the bonuses she gets Spellblade damage, you're looking at... And the 25% chance to dual cast Spellblades, I honestly, you're looking at what, an 8.0, 9.0 multiplier turn. For the cast speed involved, the OSB is really just not that valuable. So the Celeste OSB, in my opinion, isn't really all that valuable. That's definitely for fans. Final Fantasy 3 is a good choice, yeah. It's one of the better ones on the banner, I believe. I personally feel. If our selection remains the same as Japans. Remember that. That could change. 7 was Sephiroth. Sephiroth's was good, not because of a 6-star relic, but because of a 5-star. Sephiroth's Bursal Break 2 is a really nice relic, but that's also going to be selectable in the future. So again, I'm leaning towards the 6-star elemental relics. 8. What's 8? Quistis. That's a fun one. It's too bad that poison damage is no bueno. Because she's really good at dealing poison damage. She's got a great OSB with a poison elemental whip. Nine? What's 9? Zidane's. Zidane's isn't bad because it's kind of special. It's if, you know, you want to be flavorful, I suppose, because Zidane's OSB gives you the greens buff. I don't think greens are really all that valuable. We definitely get more than we spend at this point, as long as you're spending them smart and you're not like buying every single major orb. So you're going to be able to buy all the stamina shards, you're going to be able to buy all the accessories without any additional greens. So all the additional greens are from the Zidane's OSB right now are the ability to buy another major orb every now and then that someone else wouldn't be able to. It's really not that good. But it's flavor, right? I don't know. I would like one personally just, you know, for the fun of it, but I could use both Tidus's OSB or Luna's OSB, so I would prioritize those over that. Final Fantasy X is Tidus. Final Fantasy XI is Ayame, who's a good one, actually. She gets increased multiplier for exploiting weakness. Ayame could probably be your primary DPS engine on Tiamat by just being an OSB spammer. So I suppose that's a potential Magicite killer. And you also get that with Sephiroth's. But, I don't know. Yeah, it's fine. I'm trying to use Ayame right now in my Tiamat fights, and I don't think with her Burst Soul Break by itself that it's good enough. And I'd want both. So that's a tough one because I think both of them together are decent. Just I'm gonna keep going back to this, and there's a good reason for that. Is the enduring strength of elemental relics and their ability to help out multiple parties over multiple realms, over multiple everything, for now and for a very long time, is just so powerful. That would be just something you need to decide, and whether or not you feel like your ice team could use it. You don't feel like pulling on the Squall banner. I have not Legend Dived Ayame, but I only during the fight I only use Ayame's abilities like 3 times. So a Legend Dive for Ayame wouldn't do all that much because she has a 35% chance to dual cast Samurai. So I'd only be getting the 9% ice damage that she has in her Legend Dive, which is really not that big of a boost. And if you were to run her as an OSB bot, the same thing would apply. You wouldn't be making much use of that 35% chance to dual cast Samurai. What's 12? Sephiroth does have a good dive. Sephiroth's a good character. He requires a few pieces to get there, but if you've got him, I think he's a very powerful dark character. Yeah, what is 12? Balthier? Oh, let me tell you right now. Balthier's not that good. But that's his USB. How does BSB2 and OSB work? Better. So I have Balthier's LMR, OSB, and USB, and Balthier is buried. Buried under physical fire characters that are just better than him. No, I haven't in Noxus. I haven't done a distant preview in a while. I need to do a catch-up stream for them. Who's the best dark physical character? Orlando. Final Fantasy 13 is Lightning. That's a good one. That's a good one, because Lightning is a high quick cycle character who make the best OSB bots. Because take Ayame for instance. In order to run her as an OSB bot, you basically have to run her with Thunder God mode, the RM, to reduce all her cast speeds by a third, or by 2/3. Because she'd be using so many soul breaks that using that many soul breaks without a cast speed buff, it sucks. It's just, it loses so much effectiveness. But Lightning is one of the best OSB bots because her USB allows her to high quick cycle lightning attacks. She is really, really good at it. So not only do you get high quick cast, exactly what the Thunder Guard RM does, but you also get the ability to use a damage RM on her. And that is what makes Lightning so proficient at it. So if you have Lightning's or USB, then picking up her OSB is a decent option if you think that that's what's stopping you from like sub 30 in Kraken. It's unlike Ayame, that Lightning, USB, and OSB is definite sub 30 Kraken material for her element. Final Fantasy 14 is... Who has OSBs in 14? Papalimo? Is that it? Is it Papalimo BSB OSB? Who else could it be? I should just pull this up. I don't know why I'm trying to do this from memory. Am I forgetting somebody? Is it really Papalimo? Yeah. Okay. Well, Papalimo is... not a good choice. I don't think Papalimo would be a good choice. Yeah, I didn't mention it because it's not all that relevant in Noxus. It starts out at 11.25. On the second cast, it bumps to 12.0. On the third cast, it bumps to 12.75. So if you add those 3 casts up, you have now equaled using 3 regular OSBs in a row. And then on the 4th cast, you finally see a benefit. Yes, if you're using her as an OSB bot, you're probably going to see a 4th cast. But there's people out there that start out with a multiplier from the 1st cast that high already. Like Ayame, for instance. So it's really not worth mentioning. It's really an awful mechanic. And back when OSBs first came out, when they, you know, weren't what they are now, and better and more easily exploitable, Lightning's OSB was considered just utter garbage. And it was, as far as OSB damage went. Because of that awful mechanic. And 15 has Noctis on it, right? I think Lightning is the only one. Yeah. At least it's not as bad as Celeste's. She has to get hit by spells. And I think they have to be BLK spells. This is it's just so bad. BLK or WHT, right? God. Oh, it's so bad. Top 3? Probably... Well, Tidus and Lunith. Definitely. No, Kane's OSB gets stronger with more Dragoon abilities you use. Bye, Skillet. I'm probably gonna have to say Bart's. And another side benefit that a lot of people don't take into account because it's a Super Soul Break, but the Lunith banner with the Wind Spear OSB has Arc Super Soul Break 2 on it, which is probably almost certainly the best Super Soul Break in the entire selection, matched only by Noctis's Super Soul Break. Noctis's Super Soul Break is on it, right? No, it's not. No, it's not, because they don't put the prime. They put the BSB and OSB, and then Iris's Super is probably on it, right? So that doesn't even count. It's Arcs or bust. So for third place, it would be. Well, if I'm gonna say Bart's, it's because you would want his USB first. So I'd also have to say the same thing for Lightning. I think having Bart's as USB or Lightning's USB makes their OSBs desirable. So I can give you a top 2, but the third position is a little more fuzzy. Yeah, unfortunately, Mimu's Super Soul Break, which actually just it's Arc Super Soul Break, but bad. Well, it's not bad, but just Arc Super Soul Break is Mimu's Super Soul Break with an additional effect, because Arc Super is basically a USB 0.5. And Minwu's Super Soul Break is on a banner with Furion's OSB, which... Record Keeper did not get Furion good. Record Keeper did Furion good way, way back. Because his burst was like superpowers when it first came out. And it was for a very long time after that. But they stopped there. I think his Dive, USB, and OSB are all just rotten. Any other 3rd anniversary questions? It's for dinner? Burritos. I had a basic rice and bean burrito for dinner. Someone is feeding cats at the moment. Where am I from? I'm currently living in Southern California, and I don't mind. I am originally from Massachusetts. I think the best candidate to replace Moro would be Ramza. It's clear they were trying to go for a support utility focus on Banner 1 for Japan, and that's why Moro was there. And the Ramza's a big seller. He's a big draw, which makes sense on a festival banner, and he already had his Burst Soul Break on that banner. I just think it makes a lot of sense to replace Moro's USB with Ramza's, which is a nice switch, but that's just speculation. I'm sure JP would have taken that swap because Moro's USB isn't good. So, here, I can at least explain my thought process and what I'm probably going to be taking. I have no water weapons, so Titus's OSB would be a pretty big choice for me. But I also have no wind weapons, and where Titus with his chain is already an integral part of my sub 30 on Merilith, Lunith with OSB and BSB may actually give me a sub 30 on Midgard Sormer, depending on how my Tiamat goes after this festival. But here's the thing, and here's why I haven't made a decision yet on those, is that I have two banners coming in this festival that are going to help me determine that. One would be the Wind Banner, Banner 4, if that's the same banner number as our Wind Banner, which it most likely is. They usually don't change those. Has Lunith's AOSB on it, has Lunith's Galint, has his LMR. So getting stuff like that for Lunith would make me more or less, depending, inclined to get stuff for him from the selection. And there's also the 5th banner in the festival that has... Yeah, Bart's right. Bart's used Luna's Sphere. I was going to mention that. Oh, 5th banner of the festival has Yuffie's. I think it's her USB 2. It's her USB 2 or AOSB that's a plus water thrown weapon, which, because Bart's can use thrown weapons, means that getting that would also satisfy my need for a plus water weapon, or plus water weapons. So depending on how my pulls go in the festival is going to determine what I select. And I feel like that's how everyone should roll with this, is select after the festival is done, rather than before. Because selections are sure things. You determine what happens. Make the pull, and then select after the festival. Because what happens during the festival may influence your decision on what you would take. It's not that much of a shame in Eraser, because it's only a shame in, like, in someone's case like Waka. Because Waka's not good. So you're not going to use Waka, so if you're not going to use Waka, at least his USB would have been a useful thing as a thrown weapon to give to somebody else. Titus and his USB is fine. And it's not, yeah, right. It's Titus's USB being a water weapon that only he can use is fine, because if you have his USB, you're going to use him, so you have a Blitzball user. So it's not a big deal. I would prefer the Luckies be before the fest. It has nothing to do with mithril budget for me, though. It's because I like to get random chants out of the way. Random chants that I know I'm going to pull on out of the way first before making decisions on other things. But we don't actually know what's going to be on those banners. So, because as usual, their descriptions of lucky banners are really kind of vague. So we're just gonna have to wait to find out how good they are. But as far as budgeting mithril, remember, festival's gonna end, and then those luckies are gonna be open for like 15 days after the festival ends. I think you do have to budget, but you don't have to budget much, because you're probably gonna be able to generate the mithril it takes to pull on them. Is Banner any good? Final Fantasy IX? This banner? Not... It's... No. I don't think so. I don't think I would suggest pulling on this unless you're a fan. Even for newer players. Like, this... Newer players should totally be just saving for the festival. Festivals are good for veteran players, usually. They're even better for newer players. And newer players need... Exactly, they're better, so you're going to need more mithril to pull on them. I'm pretty positive that I'll be able to escape this festival with mithril left over. I was not expecting to have 409 before the festival even started. I don't know how that happened. Kingdom Hearts just gave us a ton of mithril. That helped. Oh, you know what it was? It was the Realm Dungeons. They gave us a lot of mithril, and once the Realm Dungeon revamp happened, then I started doing Realm Dungeons again, and I had a lot of dungeon updates that I needed to get done, and I earned a lot of mithril from those. Oh. Sorry. I did miss that question, Jimbo. I remember reading it, but I got distracted. I would not pick up Deuce's BSB. I would not select Deuce's BSB at this point. It's very, very good. No doubt it is very, very good. But we're close enough to the other selection that it just makes sense to either don't do the selection, or... Is there even a selection? I don't think there is one for Deuce's BSB. There's an OSB selection, an LMR selection, and a Super Soul Break selection that JP got. We don't know if we're going to get. Right? This is not a burst one. Deuce's BSB is in the OSB BSB LMR selection? Oh, okay. So I was wrong. It's not Super Soul Break, it's Burst Soul Break. Okay. So if Deuce's is in there, then that's a choice. I don't think that's a decision that I can really, make, Jimbo, because that's gems. If it were up to me, I'd say don't bother with the gem selection and just choose the best Burst Soul Break that you feel shows up on the library. Because Grabbing a burst soul break for gems is just, in my opinion, not even close to being worth. Like, how desperate are you for a healer that you need one right now instead of when either the library thing comes out or the next festival when Alara comes out or Aerith and her USB? I think Aerith, BSB, and LMR is probably better than I thought it was. Because I don't want to dive Larsa. And having that 25% dual cast is so important for white mages. And having that Astra on a healing soul break is definitely shown its usefulness to me now that I've started using Larsa's a couple times in 4-star Magicite. I do think Iris's is good. Alma's BSB is fine, but she doesn't have access to that dual cast LMR, so you kind of need a diver. And I don't think she's worth diving. We don't know, Fernando. Anything that doesn't debut on festival banners, by debut I mean the first time it's ever appeared, is who knows? Who knows? So Orlando USB was not on Japan's festival, and is also something that has also occurred before on a previous event, so there's no way for us to know. Well, what... You have Iris's LMR, but not Burst, Jimbo? If you were willing to put down the gems for Iris's Bursts... It depends on your teams. Do you run mage teams often? Because I think Deuce is more useful for mage teams. She's good on both. It really, how much more, who would be more useful to the way you run teams? Would an Astra or would a buff? Now, most of your USBs are physical, then I'd probably lean towards Iris. Because not only do you not need to spend motes on Iris, but Iris brings Astra to the table, where Deuce brings a buff, and buffs are less useful for physical teams. And by bringing Astra with Iris, that means you can... not use Unicorn for some fights that Unicorn was good for, and get increased damage from an Imperil or something instead. But the thing is, you can't go wrong with either. Both of them are good. I do think it's really nice that Iris doesn't require a dive. Because honestly, I'm really hesitant about diving healers. There are very few that are worth it. Deuce is one. Deuce is one. Well, that's what I mean, Dragon. That's why I'm so apprehensive. Because I did it that one time, and yeah, everyone knows that story. I don't want to tell it again. Burst Soul Break. Not only is BSB enough, it's pretty much, you know, that's it. Her super's okay. Is Alma worth it? In my opinion, no. All she has is that magic blink burst, and while it's a good burst, I don't think that's good enough. Yeah, Deuce's BSB is... yeah. Having Deuce's USB is good too. If there's anything these 4-star Magicites have taught me is that quick heals at the end of a fight can make or break. And as long as you've cast Deuce's BSB once, then you've already given your team the buff for the entire fight. Yeah, the zero cast IMO ship button's actually really, really nice. I'm much higher on Deuce's USB than I used to be. But I think my old statement about healer USBs definitely applies to Deuce's. Deuce with just her USB, Deuce with her BSB then activates the potential of her USB, because now you have a reason to use the character. And now you can take advantage of the goodness of her USB. You should run far, far away, Brian. And congratulations. That's an awesome pull. I suppose that does change things, Jimbo. Because that makes Deuce a really, 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 really awesome healer. But you can always select that. Is Iris's burst on the same selection banner? Solus, you usually have this link handy. Do you got it? I found it. It was in my history. Yeah, it was. On the library or the gem banner? Honestly, there's a lot on the library. Oh, gem? No. No, because the rest of the stuff in the game is USB based. The rest of the strength. Aphmau USB, Realm USB, Rosa USB. Larsa's burst is good. But I don't think it makes sense to select Larsa's BSB because you need to dive him for his 35% chance to dual cast. I believe Iris's is good enough because Iris gets her dual cast from an LMR that you already have. Deuce is probably the only diveable healer that's good enough to pick up her BSB like that. Oh, then yeah, absolutely not, Jimbo. First of the 15 5-mythril pulls is tomorrow during normal event time, yes. And hello, Michael. So about those pulls, I was actually thinking of not doing the first one, or not doing any of them until the end. And doing all 15 at once on a single day. We'll just have a super stream. And, that's exactly correct, Reagan. I use the studio mode on OBS, which Streamlabs OBS doesn't have. Me too. Unfortunately, Queen's USB is not worth pulling for. Yeah. Yeah, I just answered that question over the course of like a half-an-hour conversation with Jimbo Rainmaker. Yes. Yeah. If you didn't have Deuce's USB, her BSB would be worth snagging. Where from? I don't know. If you're talking about the gem banner, then I would personally say no, but your value of, you know, gems may be different from me. Taco Suit has been retired. It failed me on the Orlando banner. Said I'd wear it until it failed. Oh, that's a good question. What's replacing the taco suit? I'm not sure. I'll try to come up with something. I do have a friend of mine that does a lot of cosplay, and she has a ton of wigs. So maybe I could swing some wigs. No, we don't, Michael. We don't even know if we're gonna get them. People are just asking questions just in case we do get them. Alara suit? I'll save the Alara suit for June. We don't know. We don't even know if we're gonna get Library of Guidance. I'm sure we will, but... I'll put, I'll use white face paint and turn into Terra's Esper form. I'll go Trance Terra for the 5th banner. What are your teams missing? They hope to get on the Sandy? That is a long conversation. A lot? I am not budging on Realm and Aphmau being the best healers in the game at the moment. And Deuce. Deuce works too. Alara and I suppose Aerith get added to the list at some point. Aerith just bugs me. I hate how she's physical only. It's not something I'm looking for in a healer. If you're going to be a good healer, you better be a good healer for every team, not just one damage type. Record Keeper is the first mobile game I've played, so I didn't even know that there was really a thing, that mobile games were even a thing. So I never had any expectations going in. I didn't know. I suppose I didn't think that I'd be playing it this long because I just didn't. It didn't occur to me that it mattered. God, what I've learned over the last 3 years. It's definitely made me a jaded consumer in the mobile market, that's for sure. And it didn't start out that way. It was like, wow, this Record Keeper game is pretty good. I'm actually having a little bit of fun, even though I did quit briefly, but that wasn't the game's fault, really. Just since the release of Record Keeper, I've tried out other mobile games and found them wanting in the extreme. The most are just low budget cash grabs for people's, fandom for certain IPs. It's pretty sickening, actually. I don't know, Dale. Use it. Sounds about right, but I mean, you know better than anybody else how your abilities need to be honed, because you use them in battle, and if you run into the wall where, oh, I wish I had another use right now, then now you know you need to hone it further. I will probably be only honing mine to R2. I can't see a reason to hone it to R3. Yay! Everyone's cheering. Alright, so want to do a Final Fantasy V event preview? Now we've had open conversation time for the last hour. It's actually always fun. Why would I not be doing the 5 preview? No problem, Felfarine. Said it's fun. God damn, do I need to update this site. Alright. Let's see. Final Fantasy V, the Dawn Warriors. I have no lights on in here. Luckily the monitors are illuminating me enough. The Dawn Warriors, Sand Shadows and Desert Mirage. Boy, we've been waiting for these abilities. These are Earth copies of the current Dark and Water physical ninja abilities that we have. One charges up blinks, the other uses those blinks to hit harder, or, well, hit more often, which increases the multiplier of the attack itself. When it hits 7 times, what's a 4.9 multiplier? They're actually just disgusting. And I don't understand why ninja abilities are this powerful. Not only do they have the highest multiplier among... I think Life Bane is the only potentially higher multiplier on all abilities in the game. The heavy ability is actually higher. But that's tougher and that resets. These are half cast speed as well. It just doesn't make any sense. 0 sense made. Why these abilities needed to be buffed. Because they were really powerful before their buff. Anyway, these are really good abilities. And we get 2 new characters in this event. We get Zat and Kelger. Zat is Combat 4, Spellblade 5, Black Magic 4, Knight 3. Dagger, Sword, Katana, Axe, Hammer, Spear, Shield, Hat, Helm. Zat, Axe, and Hammer. Can Kelger use axes or hammers? No, of course not, even though there's a bunch of plus Earth axes and hammers. But Zat can because there's so many plus Ice axes and hammers. Bastards. His RMs stink. His R spheres. Sword damage and Spellblade damage. It's good. Ooh, 12% Spellblade damage. That's pretty good. Nothing really special here. He's an Ice Spellblade. They can use Life Siphon. Yeah, nothing else that relevant. Kelger, Combat 5, Celerity 5, Ninja 5, and Thief 4. Sword Katana, that's it. RM, attack becomes instant cast with heavy damage but does not grant soul break points. Who cares? Ninja +9 and sword +3. That's fine. Legend Spheres. Gafgarian? Oh, okay. Gafgarian change. Which is a really useless change. Which we probably already have, but completely glossed over because it's irrelevant. Okay, so Dorgon, 9% night damage and double blind resist. No, I would have preferred earth damage since he's single elemental. Zazat, spellblade damage, would have preferred ice because he's single elemental. Kelger plus ninja would have preferred earth because he doesn't have a dual cast Legend Materia, so he's not really an all-elemental ninja like Shadow, Edge, or Euphiar. So, I mean, they're fine. The 9% ability damage on each of them. And this is wrong. This is listing this incorrectly. NIN damage is different from ninja damage, and I'm almost positive that he gets plus ninja damage. Because giving Kelger a physical character plus NIN damage is actually just useless. Because NIN damage is magical ninja. Ah, whoops. Yeah, ninja damage. It's not NIN. There's a difference. There is a difference. If you want to see the difference, which you don't, but I'm going to show you anyway. Shifting Sands, Desert Mirage, and the Water and Dark abilities are all PHY damage, but they're Ninja School. The Ninja Magic, Smoldering Fire, Raging Storm are NIN damage and Ninja School. That's the difference. If Kelger got plus NIN damage, it would not affect the abilities that he uses. So it would actually be just worthless. So, Legend Materia for Dorgon, Kelger, and Zazat. Dorgon has 35% chance to dual cast Night, and Night abilities deal 15% increased damage. Okay. Like the 35% chance to dual cast Night, that's for sure. Zazat. Oh. The Zazat and Gafgarian, which is probably why this balance change came during this event, is because they wanted to update this Legend Materia, which also affected Gafgarian's Legend Materia, is a % chance of Smart Ether 1 to the user after using a nice attack, which is the worst Legend Materia in the game. So please, God, don't Legend Dive Zazat. And Kelger is a 30% chance to grant Quick Cast 3 to the user after using a ninja ability. Not useful at all. This can be a decent LM2 on a lot of people, but when you are a ninja who is naturally quick casting your abilities, it reduces the effectiveness of this Legend Materia by half, which was already a questionably good Legend Materia. Now it's just not good at all. So Dorgon has a good dive, Zazat and Kelger do not. And this is why Kelger does not qualify as being one of the 3 super ninjas. So let's go to the banners. All right, 4 6-stars at the top. All right, special characteristic of this banner, and it's why this banner is talked about continuously since it was introduced in Japan ages ago. How long ago? Friday, October 13th. 4 months ago. Well, that was almost 5 months ago now. Dorgon, Falchion. USB, Bonds of the Dawn, 10 single target, Earth and Wind and Earth. Self-defense plus 100%, additionally cast Sandy Winds when using night abilities. Sandy Winds is a rank-based chase, so having a higher rank on your ability means it's going to chase more, and it chases very powerfully at rank 5, which is awesome. That's a very, very good USB. And what's especially nice about it is the stat boost is not plus attack, but that's okay in this instance because it's defense plus 100%. What that means is Dorgon doesn't actually have to use Gaia Cross to enable him to use Earthbringer. So he doesn't need Earth Saber. So a big question. We get a lot of these questions in the Discord. Which should I be using for Orlando? Should I be using Divine Cross and Earth or Guardbringer, or should I be using Assault Saber? And the answer is usually use Assault Saber because he gets an ability double. It requires him to use a bunch of abilities, so it's hard and taxing on your orbs to have a low-honed Divine Cross and a high-honed Guardbringer versus having 2 low-honed Assault Bringers. And that is something Dorgon doesn't really have to worry about because he has a built-in Gaia Cross inside his USB. So what you can actually do is run Dorgon with a Life Siphon, which is nice on your orbs for sure, and Earthbringer. And then with Dorgon, you could run another character that uses Earth Saber that we will eventually be getting. And that would be, you know, Orlando is a good person to use Earthbringer. And Marsh is another good person to use Earthbringer. Though for Marsh, I would really like to use lower honed things because he doesn't use abilities like... He doesn't suck them dry like other people, so I would prefer to use Gaia Cross. But, you know, if you've got Dorgon can Earthbringer. So that leaves Earth Saber to Marsh. But anyway, I like him having defense plus 100% instead of attack plus 30% and other defensive statistic plus 30%. What most other people have. Yeah. Orlando is Night and Darkness, which means he's Tri-Elemental with his USB, and with his OSB he adds Enlightening as well. So he's Quad Elemental. Gets there differently than Bart's, but he gets there. So Dorgon's USB is very good. Not only is it a very good USB by itself, but it is also a plus Earth sword. 180 attack, very augmentable plus Earth sword. Awesome. Awesome weapon, very good USB. Next up, Zazat's Sword. USB, Spellblade, Frost, Freeze Bolt, Cut, 10 single target ice and lightning physical damage, and ice. Self Quick Cast 1 and Spellblade ability boost. Self Quick Cast 1 is depressing. Because it only happens once. It's not like a timed thing. You don't get a quick cycle for 15 seconds, which would have been actually decent. Zazat's USB isn't bad, but it's really reliant on the strength of Snow Spell Strike. Not only the strength of Snow Spell Strike, which is all you need is motes, which which are rare motes, and it's hard to make people part with those if they even have them to part with. But I think with Zazat, you absolutely, because you're only getting quick cast 1, so every command or every turn after that is just a normal cast time for hit Spellblade attack, which is kind of a slow way to deal damage. Really, I think to make Zazat good with his USB, you're probably going to need his Legend Materia relic that also appears on this banner that gives him a 25% chance to dual cast Spellblades. So that's something to consider when getting Zazat's things. Luckily, Zazat's sword is also a plus ice sword, also plus 180 attack, very augmentable on a rare damage type on a weapon. So even if you get the USB and can't make use of it, it can't boot off somebody else that's on your team, at least the relic itself is actually just awesome and probably worth 50 mithril by itself. So that's good. And that's what's so hype about this banner is that even if some of the soul breaks aren't like game breakers or, you know, at the top of their game, all these relics, or almost all of these relics on this banner, are still really good. And here's a third relic, Kelger's Sword. USB, Lupine attack, 10 single target, earth and wind, physical, self-blink. Ninja ability boost, and additionally cast Lupine Chase when using earth abilities. This is much better, where Zazat only gets self-quick cast 1. Kelger gets a chase, and chases are so much better, because chases are something that you can augment to be better, and quick cast 1's just almost useless. The ninja ability boost is weird. We've kind of run into a Sephiroth. No. Who's more accurate? Jekt type situation, where Jekt on his USB gets a 75% chance to crit, which is effectively a 37% DPS increase, sort of. Where Kelger's ninja ability boost is a 30% damage increase, which is nice, because that actually... wait a second. The ability boost on his USB is rank-based, isn't it? If it's rank-based, then it doesn't affect the chase, and that's... Yeah, ninja rank boost. But anyway, that's fine, because the ninja abilities he's going to be using can absolutely make use of that 30%. But the same thing applies to Jekt, is that having the USB it's good. It's a good USB. It does good damage. There's a lot of other things in the game that are going to exceed it. Most specifically, Edge and Edge, Shadow, and Yuffie with their ninja dual casting abilities. But if you have Kelger's LMR... Wait a second. Shit. I misread that, didn't I? Yeah, it was Dorgon that starts battle with Unearth. Alright, scrap all that. He's not like Jekt at all. I was going to say Kelger gets Unearth on his LMR, but he doesn't. So he has no way to get Unearth, so his ninja ability boost is not going to affect his Soul Break cast, and it's not going to affect his chase. This is a depressing USB. This is not that great. It's good because ninja abilities are good, but because ninja abilities are good, other ninjas are much better. Like, I can specifically think of 4 ninjas, which would be the 3 super ninjas and Onion Knight. So really, I think the best part of this USB is probably the sword itself. But remember, this is a good USB. It is, because ninja abilities are strong, and this ninja ability boost does affect that. I just feel that I'm lower on the USB itself because I think there's others that can do it better, and for less, without the gotcha. And even if you do use the gacha, for 3rd anniversary, for instance, hold on, we gotta look at it, because now that we have all the ninja abilities in play, it needs to be talked about. Yuffie's glint is very unique. And it appears on one of the festival banners that we're going to be having in like 2 weeks. Innate adaptability. Instant cast like all glints. Grants physical blink 2, physical blink stacking 2, and Yuffie's ninja rank boost. So, all the good stuff, besides a chase that doesn't get any benefit, by the way, from all of these, from that ninja boost that Kelger gets on his USB, are present in a 250 soul break point glint instead of a USB on a character with 35% chance to dual cast. This is completely non-elemental. It's I hate the word. I hate it when people use this word. I'm not going to use it. Never mind. It is not tied to any element, and it's really just awesome. It's awesome on a 35% chance to dual cast character. And this is what you want to use with those ninja abilities, instead of relying on a chase that's not going to get damage boosts. And this is going to be on a very, very powerful banner in 3rd anniversary. And this is what I'm talking about. As far as other people do Kelger's job better. Kelger is the Earth Ninja, but Yuffie and Edge are just better at it. No, I wasn't going to say broken. I was going to say element agnostic. Ugh. I hate it when people use that word. Edge is the other person because he has another non-elemental superpower, Soul Break. That is his Super Soul Break 2, also known as his USB 0. It's not something record keeper specific, Tennessee. It's something used in like blogger media. It's a buzzword. Anyway, that's Kelger's USB, but it is also a 180 attack Earth Sword, which is very good. People can make use of that, not just Kelger. Dorgan, Orlandu, Marsh, Onion Knight. I think that's it. Like, as far as, like, good characters. Oh, Leo will eventually be able to make use of it when he becomes a good Earth character. But anyway, that's Kelger's USB. And, yeah, here is where a lot of people's, like, apprehension with the banner starts, is Dorgan's is good regardless. Zazat's is conditional, and what you kind of need is 25% chance to dual cast. And Kelger's is good. Just, it's hard to... I recommend people dive ninjas. At least one ninja. And I suppose Kelger could take up another slot on the team. If you've got the Dark Orbs and you want to go for it. His USB is good. It is. It's such a weird thing to assess when I think of other characters that, you know, without even having soul breaks, probably do the job better. Alright, and Galoof's USB. Well, the hammer itself is a plus 174 attack hammer. Earth hammer. Usable by Dorgan and... what's the other person? Well, Galoof. But Galoof's not as good as a character as them. Who's the other? Oh, Ingus. Jeez, why? Brain farted Ingus hard. The master of Earth himself. So there you go. There's another elemental weapon. This is why the banner is as good as it is because it's just plastered with rare elemental weapons and armor. Sync can also use heavy combat abilities. No, Barts actually can't use hammers. Barts can use axes, though. Sync is only good with their USB, which is also a plus earth hammer. So I suppose Dorgon falls into the same category. But Dorgon is a little different, because Dorgon's is a sword. What you could do instead is use Galoof's Platinum Hammer on Dorgon and use Dorgon's sword on somebody else on the team. Like Bart's, like, you know, Marsh, or whoever, because it's a freaking sword. So, Galoof's USB, party attack and magic plus 30%, hasten, and earth. It's... I may have a different assessment about this now than I did before. What kind of boosts do we have in Final Fantasy V? Because you're probably going to want one for Final Fantasy V Torment eventually. So what do we have to choose from here? Flames of War? Go-Go's Super Soul Break? I'm talking Heiska boosts. Dorgon's BSB isn't a Heiska. Yeah, I mentioned Lena's Flames of War already. Oh, USB is also not a Heiska. Might be it. Well, anyway, with that in mind, Galoof's USB may be the best native Heiska in Final Fantasy V. I would much rather be using Galoof than Go-Go on a team. That's for sure. Well, is Go-Go a full sage, or is that only Final Fantasy VI Go-Go? No, the Super Wall isn't an RW Dragon. You start battle with Wall, and you RW in a chain. A realm-based chain. Yeah, Go-Go 5 is actually a sage. And a bard? Yeah. So, yeah, it might actually be more useful. But anyway, regardless, Galoof's USB is actually a really good native Heiska in the party. Depends on what the Final Fantasy V, like, Torment is. Because if it's vulnerable to Earth, then Galoof is obviously better. Vulnerable to Fire, probably good too, because Galoof can make use of that. Other than that, I don't think there's much Galoof can do. So I think this USB is better than it was when I first evaluated this banner, because we didn't know about the future of Torments at the time. So I would want Kelger's sword more just for the relic, but I wouldn't be... Yeah, I would definitely think Galoof's USB would be the boob of the 6 stars on the banner, but it's still not as bad as I once thought it was. Burst Soul Break section. Kelger's Burst is finally a non-elemental relic. 8 single target Earth, Wind, and Earth. It's a good start, but I don't think the burst commands are anything to write home about. Short cast time, short cast time, self-blink 1. It's a lower soul break point generating version of the 5-star ninja ability. And this is just an awful version of the 5-star ninja ability. So this is an N-Earth burst to be used with his USB. But these are full cast time USBs. I suppose it might be worth. I don't know. Because the Unearth would be nice with that chase on his USB. But that's 2.5 second cast times spent to get there. It may just be worth using ninja abilities instead. Ninja abilities are just so strong, and spending time casting soul breaks just it often just hurts more than it helps. Well, anyway, that's Kelger's Burst. It's Unearth. Questionable usage. But you could use it. I mean, look at my my sub 30 Merilith fight right now. I use Yuffie with her Burst Soul Break 1. No, I am not Tennessee. There's... Even in non-timed fights, time is still a concern. The faster you're able to deal damage, the better. That's not something that's exclusive to speedruns. Okay, so anyway, I use Yuffie's Burst Soul Break 1 in my sub 30 of Merilith. And that's... it's a perfect example. I don't even use her Burst Soul Break until like 20 seconds into the fight. Because that's the one time I can get a cast speed buff on her from Titus's chain. Because until then, it's just not worth casting her bursts because it's too long of a cast time. You do so much more damage just using ninja abilities. But I do cast it once, so it's not useless. Just soul breaks can have questionable value on ninjas because ninja abilities are so powerful. Gloof's BSB2 redoubled effort, 8 single target, imperil earth, earth and fire. See the commands. Self-crit 50% in 4 earth and fires. It's Imperil Earth. It's just a burst. Now, back to Sanity, we get Zazat's Helm, his Burst Soul Break. This is Ice Armor. A helmet, obviously. BSB, Spellblade Ice War Flash. 8 single target Ice Lightning Physical, Imperil Ice Burst Mode. So it's a good relic, so it's going to be good regardless. The burst commands are Spellblade damage plus 15% for 3 turns, and a Dark Bargain on the second command. This is not bad. Self-buff on the second command. A good relic. This is better. It's decent. Dorgon's BSB is also really good. It's plus Earth Armor, Heavy Armor, Dorgon's Redoubt. Uncharted Lands, Area of Effect, Imperil Earth, Party Attack and Defense plus 30%. Can Glue Fly Siphon? Yes, he can. If I remember correctly, he does get a Mikio Shisui second command. Yeah. Attack and resistance plus 30% on his second command is really nice. It's not a bargain. It's just, hey, I'm just going to give myself a huge, awesome attack and resistance buff. So that second command is good, and Dorgon can make use of night abilities, so that's good too. I like this. How useful is an attack and defense buff? You know, less useful in all realm parties, like an Earth party. Still good. Still good. But it's physical, so you're probably bumping into the soft cap, something fierce, if you're using a 50% attack buff, but better in combination with something like Galoof's USB, which is probably going to be useful in Final Fantasy V Torment. Stack that attack and defense on the attack and magic, and now you've got a healthy amount of buffs on that team, as well as Imperil Earth, and a good buff for Dorgon himself. Anyway, that's a decent burst. It's got actual usage, as well as being on a good relic. So it's a good pickup. So moving on to the Legend Materia section, we have Zazat's Gloves, also ice armor, and even better this time, not a helmet, which is actually does have limited usage, but probably not on the people that actually care, like Ayame and Squall and Sora. Can Sora use helmets? Wow, Sora can't use helmets. Whoa. Ayame can, and I know Squall can. Sora's hair is just too damn spiky for helmets, apparently. Zazat's Gloves, on the other hand, are bracers and equipable by everybody, even next step. So this is just an awesome relic. Along with being a good Legend Materia relic for Zazat, which enables his USB to be a powerful ice damage USB. So, this is one of the better pickups on the banner. Kelger's Cloak, plus Earth Armor, Light Armor. Low chance to self-blink when using ninja abilities. It's okay. It's okay. Would prefer this on a dual-casting ninja, which Kelger is not. He gets saddled with a bad legend dive. But it's Earth Armor, so who cares? It's really good. Dorgon's Bastard Sword, start battle on Earth and Earth. That's decent. It's good. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Starting battle with Unearth is good. See, here's why I hesitated a little bit, is because that's usually good or better when paired up with things that don't stack more Unearth on top of it, or allow you to stack more, like with a glint or something. Or something like Sephiroth's USB. Dorgon has a USB that has Unearth on it, so the only real benefit that you get is the plus 80% damage on the USB initial cast. But with his BSB, which is Imperil, which could totally benefit a ton from him starting the battle with Unearth, unfortunately, it doesn't deal any damage. It's an area of effect Imperil and a buff of the party. There's no damage in his burst. Since the new targets aren't going to be time sensitive, do you think tanky characters are going to make at least somewhat of a comeback? Aren't they time sensitive? I thought they were. And tanky characters being relegated to the bench never had anything to do with the length of the fight. It always had something to do with the NAT versus PHY situation. Now it's a 5-star Magicites that are getting rid of speed clearing. I was thinking about that some hetero, but in looking, what's his name? Dorgon's case. What do you want to be using with Dorgon at the start of the fight? Well, and later on in the fight, after he casts his USB, you want to be using Earthbringer, which is only enabled to do the hits that it can do after the USB has been cast anyway. So you could take Gaia Cross as well and use that. But yeah, I understand totally. I was speaking of Dorgon specifically, because he's a bit different. Okay, so that was Dorgon starting the battle with Unearth. It's still going to be good Ledger Materia regardless. And I probably would prefer that over his 15% night damage LM1. Galoof LMR, low chance to dual cast monk abilities. Good. It's good on Galoof. Alright, Super Soul Break section, which normally grown. But not in this case, because we actually have a hidden gem down here in Kelger's Super Soul Break, which is basically his USB 2. This is actually just Kelger's best Soul Break, or his best relic, period. Kelger's, whatever they're going to call it, is a plus Earth, I think heavy armor. Super Soul Break, Lupine, Howling, 0 cast time, 40% Medica, and Party Physical Blank. That is a really good. This is absolutely Kelger's best relic. That is something that probably would allow people to sub 30 Ixion with piecemeal. Use this on Kelger with ninja abilities, and then you can do what I do and throw in like supports like Miliadul. It would be great. You got ninja abilities combined with defense shredding. You're going to be doing a heck of a lot of damage with Kelger. And Kelger can act as your only healer for Ixion. This is the Ixion killer relic. It's really, really nice. Really nice. The reason why this can act as your only healer on Ixion is because Ixion's big attacks that are, what the fight is whole based around are an area effect physical attack, which the Party Blank takes care of, and the 40% Medica, as long as you keep it up. Keep fast casting those ninja abilities and use this whenever possible. Maybe with a light and trust here and there, and you've got a healer. You've got a healer. Heavy armor for sure, I think it is. Yes, it's heavy armor. The only type of armor that has this kind of stat distribution are armor and helmets. And the name itself does... basically says torso armor, not head armor. Why? What's wrong with that, Jimbo? Because... ninjas? Does this put Kelger on a list for healers? No. No, it doesn't. Oh, Tifa can't use it. Nor can the ninjas. Yeah, so that stinks. So, and that is actually worth thinking about here, is because this is a helmet, or this is a heavy armor, and so is this. So... though there is a lot of earth armor on this banner, how much earth armor is on this banner that ninjas can actually use? Kelger's cloak. And that's actually it. So you would be getting these earth armors for people like Orlandu, Marsh, Ingus, Dorgon. And Kelger. Because Kelger with his Super Soul Break is the Ixion killer. Anyway, that's the first... oh, no. Well, let's not forget Zazat's Super Soul Break. 6 single target, Ice Lightning, and Party Smart Other 1. Let's forget that Super Soul Break. I take that back. This banner is... it's okay. It's not anything special as far as, like, the actual soul breaks are concerned. But it's definitely lifted considerably by the crazy amount of elemental relics on this banner. There's 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the spread is 6 earth, 3 ice. 1 earth sword, 2 earth sword, earth hammer. So 3 weapons, 3 earth weapons, 3 earth armor, 1 ice weapon, 2 ice armor. I wanted to pull on this banner for a very long time because I thought that there's nothing that could really make me not want to. Because of how rare, and still I don't think there's a single place that this many elemental relics has ever appeared. Why am I not going to pull on this now? Well, one, I'm probably going to be pulling on the Squall banner in the festival, which also has ice armor. Squall's Glint is on it, which is plus ice armor, and Squall's AOSB is also a plus ice sword. So the ice thing is taken care of. As far as, oh, okay, I'm going to pull here for these relics. This banner only has 1 more ice relic. It's really, there's not much difference between the two. That's the stronger banner by far. By far. So, do I have a need for earth relics? Yeah. Does it make this banner good enough to go for? I don't know, because I've dived Yuffie and she's going to be like a pivotal earth character for me into the future, most likely. And those 2 earth... So the 2 earth swords don't work on her. The 2 earth heavy armors don't work on her. It's really stuff for Bart's. Bart's, and hopefully in the future, Orlandu, Dorgon if I pulled him. I probably wouldn't use Kelger, so... And I probably wouldn't use Galoof except on Torment. Ugh. It just... Can I pull on a banner just for a few earth relics? And they are useful. They are good. Even the heavy armors and even the swords. Because Bart's and hopefully eventually Orlandu are a thing. Marsh too. Here's the thing about this banner, and I'm probably going to suggest, can Marsh use hammers? I don't think so. He cannot. His swords and katanas only. Here's what I would suggest. This banner comes out on March 15th, which means at minimum, it's probably going to be extended. Which means at minimum, it's going to expire on March 25th. But it's probably going to be extended to April, because that's how these usually go. If you pull on the festival and you have Mythril left over, and this banner is still good for you, I can see it being a difference for you. Like, take me for instance. I said that some of the ice stuff on this banner is less appealing to me because I plan on pulling on a banner with a stronger ice complement. Not only does it have ice relics on it, but a stronger ice character in Squall versus Zizat. It's night and day. So what if I come away from that banner with just having Squall's Burst Soul Break 2, which is not ice at all, but I do want ice relics still. I can say, okay, I'm not going to pull on this banner anymore because it doesn't make any sense for me to pull on it anymore. And now all of a sudden, all 3 ice relics on this banner become hits that, you know, they potentially wouldn't have been had my pulls on the festival gone a different way. Happy Gotcha for Final Fantasy V will include these relics. I don't think so. I think there's a cutoff date, but they might. Oh no. They won't. They won't because Happy Gotcha for Final Fantasy V will happen on March 14th. No, it won't because they're counting down from the back. Okay, so back to what I first said. If they have a cutoff date... No, Happy Gotcha for 5 will happen after this banner. The Relic Draw will include equipment added to the game up until 1:14. Well, then absolutely not. That is a cutoff date. So that answers that question. Thank you, Solus. Well, anyway, what I was saying. The banner might be pullable for me, but after Festival. We'll see. Second banner, a lot of people overlooked it because of the strength of the relics on the first banner. But they shouldn't. Because the second banner is actually pretty good. Krill, Slipner's Tail. Creel? Heaven and Earth Collapse. We're definitely not getting as cool of a name as that. 10 single target fire, non-elemental, and fire, self-magic and resistance plus 30%, and additionally cast Flame Dance. When using fire abilities, this is a rank-based chase. Get ready to hone your meltdowns to R5. This is an awesome USB. The whip itself is plus fire, so it has a giant magic on it. It's totally augmentable. So this is an awesome hit for Creel, who is an incredible fire character. Next up, X-Death's USB. 6 area of effect, Dark and Elemental, Self Grand Cross, Party Magic Mind plus 30%. This is a pretty cool USB. I prefer this version of Grand Cross over Celeste's because this is something you can include on a lot of teams. X-Death can Grand Cross as well as Party Magic and Mind plus 30%, which doesn't have anything to do with elements. Yeah, the damage does, but that's not the focus of the USB. So it's more, you know, I can use this on anything. And X-Death has a wider array of elements sitting in it, being a full stage, as well as a darkness character. So he's just a better version of Grand Cross, in my opinion. And that's interesting. I would personally like it. Bart's OSB. Good. It's good. Creel's OSB is good because Creel is frigging amazing. Bart's is, I didn't say the same thing for that, is because that has a lower multiplier, but it's still good. A 10.0 multiplier is still, I mean, you have to, what, triple cast and chase with Bart's in order to match the multiplier that you're going to be able to do with his OSB, so. It's still a good thing for him. So honestly, the 4 6-stars on this banner are all good soul breaks. They're not amazing, like top tier, top of the line. Great. This is as good as it gets right now because only Creel's really falls into that category. And yes, I will gladly look at Creel's USB animation. But still, all three are good soul breaks. Bart's BSB 5, yes, 5, is Fire Armor. 8 single target, Fire and Elemental, and Fire Burst mode. I don't believe the commands are that interesting. They are not. This is just a way to give Barton fire. And that's worth a damn, because giving Barton fire makes him, oh boy, makes him pretty damn powerful. Lena's BSB, definitely bigger or higher on my list than it used to be because of Torments. Because I think this may be, besides Lena's USB, the best healing relic in the realm. Party Minor, Minor Ice Resistance in Burst Mode. The Burst Mode is one of those good Burst Modes with a 0 cast time, right? Yeah, 0 cast time, Kiraga, and a Medica command. So it's a good burst. It's a good healer burst for Final Fantasy V. Galoof's BSB, Imperil Fire. It's an Imperil Fire burst. I remember this used to be one of the best bursts back in the day. Because it has a healing command, which... it's actually still kind of interesting. It's too bad it's not ranged. Gogo's BSB. Oh, if only this could have been Gogo's Super Soul Break, right? Gogo's Rod is a plus water rod, and that has value to somebody. There aren't any water mages besides Alphino and Meridia that can use this real well. Strago? Maybe someday this will be good, but the burst itself really isn't. Bart's Burst Soul Break 2. Is his way to give him and water. And that's also good if you have his USB. And that's why I call these Burst Soul Breaks of Bart's is the Infinity Gauntlet. Because he just wants to plug them into that USB. If you don't get the USB, they're wildly just not good anymore. Well, they're good. They're good. Because Bart's is pretty good. But a far cry from what they could be. X-Death Burst is fine. It's fine for an Imperial Dark. But there's just a lot of those. Lena, low chance to minor medica when using white magic abilities. That is really good. That's really good for both her burst and... both her burst and her USB. Am I talking myself into this banner? No, I'm not. I can't. Because Creel, I hope Creel's things are on the 5th banner of the festival. Please be on the 5th banner of the festival. Creel's dress, Enthusiastic Girl, start battle with Fire. Is Lena diveable? I don't think so. Anyway, Creel's dress is Fire Armor as well as her starting the battle with Fire, which is an awesome Legend Materia for her because she's a chain holder. And she's a mage, so it's not like they could use Life Siphon anyway. So she can start the battle off just using those 10 charges of Meltdown or Chain Faraga that you have if you have her USB. So regardless of whether or not she's using her USB or her chain, awesome. Awesome Legend Materia. Bart's LMR is very good. Very, very good, yes. There was some math put out at one point saying that Bart's LMR was either not as good or close to being only, like, barely better than his LM1. And because this LMR doesn't increase the damage of his chase, while his LM1 does. I heartily disagree with that because that's math that doesn't take into account that we can bend RNG in our favor. And because we can reset a fight, it means we can at least aim for average Bart's RNG, which makes it better. Easily better than the LM1. And if you get good RNG for Bart's, and it makes it much better than the LM1. So I would actually take this over the LM1 almost always. Probably just always. So yes, it's a good LMR. Oh, you don't have to... It's not that you keep trying for the triple cast. It's that Bart's has so much RNG involved in him that it starts canceling itself out. Like, it's not... say Sora. Sora Riku with her AOSB right now. If you've got a crit buff, there's a big difference in the swings and variance between some of these hits on his AOSB crits and some don't. Bart's, everything that he does has a chance to proc multiples, like dual casts and stuff like that. There's so many dice rolls that you eventually just start approaching the average or the mean. I don't know what term we're using in this case. Because the variance ends up canceling itself out. So it's not about patience and getting the triple cast. It's you can weed out the bad runs, which happen less often, and take the average and the good runs. If you're relying on... If your sub 30 relies solely on just the good runs and, you know, I need multiple dual casts and a triple cast, then that's a bad idea. That's a really bad idea, because then you're gonna swipe yourself silly, and you're gonna be sitting there for a few hours. But Bart's has a low... I think the threshold to be better than his LM1 is pretty low, actually, as far as RNG is concerned. And when people do Mathcraft for it, they don't take that into account. You take into account the complete average, taking in the very lowest runs as well as the very highest runs. But when you can throw out the very lowest, it changes everything. X-Death's LMR, Start Battle Then Dark, that's awesome for X-Death. And I think that's... No, it's Dark Resistance Armor. But anyway, this is a good banner. This is a good banner. I like Bart's OSB personally. I like Creel's OSB because I think Creel is going to be a pivotal... I want Creel very much to be a pivotal character on my Fire Magic team. So you never SL, Spidey? Ever? I'm definitely weakest pull here would be X-Death's USB. But yeah, you're missing the point. I tried to explain it. It's not about the 10% hit rate. It's the 10% hit rate versus his other hit rates. You cannot hit his triple cast at all and still have a good run. It's because he has so much RNG involved that it's not RNG anymore. Bart's has so many different ways to have a good run that your chances to hit that good run are better for Bart's than they are for other people. Okay, so that's the 6 stars. I like 3 out of 4. Bart's BSB 5 I want. Lena's BSB 2 I want. Bart's BSB 2 I want. It's probably not good enough. Yeah, fuck. Bart's BSB4 is going to be in the festival. The Wind Banner. Hi, Sham. Yep, that is correct, Reagan. Yeah, chasing one relic is generally a really bad idea. Being a fan in this game is dangerous. Or gacha games in particular. I honestly think this is a decent banner. It does have an issue with the fact that it's showing up during a festival. But you can... I don't know, you can make a case for this banner, I think. Kind of easy. It's definitely more... It's definitely better than the first banner, as far as soul breaks are concerned. Yeah, it is. It's worth a look. Please don't overlook this banner. I don't think I can pull on it. That's going to be another banner that I have to wait until the end of Festival for, though. Because what if I don't get Creel's chain? I'm probably not going to want to pull for Creel if I don't end up with her chain. And say I get her chain and her LMR, I think I would be less enthusiastic on pulling on this banner. Speaking of enthusiastic, her LMR is Enthusiastic Girl. Alright, let's go look at Creel's USB animation. Creel chain is replaced by lock chain, then I don't think I want to make Creel a focus of my magical fire team anymore. I think her USB and LMR would probably be reduced in effectiveness. If I pulled her LMR off of the festival at that point, that might change things. Because getting dupes of it wouldn't be a bad thing. I don't know. It's totally gonna have to be something I have to wait till after the festival to think about pulling on. So hopefully the banner's extended, which I'm pretty sure it will be. What's that? Does she get a burst too or something? Yeah, she gets a burst too. Didn't realize that. That animation was awesome! Those are USB. Alright, well, why wait for festival? I'm gonna pull for this when it comes out. She just caught volcanic rock from an exploding volcano and threw it at the boss. What the f— Well, I just got considerably less hype for 3rd anniversary because I just lost all my mythril. March 18th, Judgment Day. I want to watch it again. $15, and yes, it's definitely worth the pull on all 15. I will be pulling on all 15. Go, Creel, get him! The super feels on her chain. Alright. Enough of that. I'm getting carried away. Yeah, definitely want Creel's shit. Oh yeah, imagine that with Beastmaster Creel? Definitely. Definitely. Beastmaster Creel should be your default. Yes, Creel's USB is a rank-based chase. Yes. So, yeah, what do I dress as for Banner 5? Do I dress as Beastmaster Creel or as Esperterra? These are the tough questions in life. Beastmaster Terra. I don't want a freaking cow. I want a sheep. That's a bunny! Yeah. Yeah, I have cleared all the 4-star Magicites. Man, would it be difficult to get one that looks, you know, as good as Creel's does? They're all so baggy. They're like pajamas. I don't want friggin' pajamas. Rent an actual sheep. Well, there's an idea. Yeah, Jimbo, I'm gonna do them all at once. At the end, on the last day for Final Fantasy 1. We're gonna have a super day. Neutral. Is there anybody that would like to take up the Super Day challenge with me? The Super Parade. Can you resist for 15 days? Do you have the self-control? It becomes easier to exercise that self-control the more you use it. This will be good. This will be good exercise. Yeah, all Squall's costumes suck. Hi, Storm. Yeah. Yeah. Do we ever get Princess Garnet? No, what are you talking about, hee. This is totally Twitch. Or the challenge of waiting until they're all available, Dragon. We get the first one tomorrow, and then it stays open for until the end. And then on the next day, we get Final Fantasy 14. On the next day, we get Final Fantasy 13. I'm gonna wait until Final Fantasy 1, then I'm gonna pull them on all of them. Two weeks. No, those don't disappear after 24 hours. Yeah, it's one a day. The first one's going to be Final Fantasy 15, Final Fantasy Tactics, and Type 0. I think March 24th, Tennessee? Yes, Jimbo. Yeah, it's Saturday night. I think that's the last one. Yeah, I'm making 30 pulls that day. Are you even ready? 30 relic draws on the same day. Can't wait till I get to use Tifa. 3 months. 3 more months. Will I still do the 28-day streamathon? Probably not. It was a bad idea to begin with. I do need to make money. So I probably shouldn't stream for 20 days in a row. I need to live. People only care about my costumes. I know what they're really here for. I agree it would be. I want to do Beastmaster Dirge, I just, don't know if I can. I mean, I've got until, like, early April, right? Find a cheapo, costume. What, the week that my mom came to visit? I just didn't have a lot of time to stream or play. I was out doing stuff. Yeah, and I felt kind of out of it, fatigued, and I spent a lot of time out and probably like got some allergic reactions and stuff, because I don't think I was ever sick. I just felt screwed up for a few days after. But I recovered. It's weird. I expected to get really sick during that time because I was going, like, I went to Disney for a day. And that is the worst. There's kids there. You get, when you're in lines to go on things, you're in cramped quarters with a bunch of sick kids. I didn't get sick, but I think I did get some spring allergy stuff going on while I was out. I would wake up every day, like, congested. My head felt heavy and clouded. But it only lasted for, like, 3 or 4 days. No, I didn't, Tennessee, because I forgot my copyright symbol. So they wouldn't allow me. I wonder if my Ixion run gets more, consistent now with the Earth abilities. Oh, available only for 24 hours each? Man, that sucks. Look at it now. Yeah, the duration of the banner. Yeah, I actually trust that more. Is yeah. That's the line that I trust more. And that would be the first banner starts on March 9th and ends on April 12th. Yeah, R2 sounds about right, Dale. I want those Earth abilities right now, but I have to wait till tomorrow. So I really, really want to try out this new Ixion team. If I can make it more consistent, that would be great, because I need to farm a lot of Ixion. I was actually going over this, you know, like shower thoughts. Because there's some traits that you want to inherit to others. Because I was thinking about creating my Tiamat team. My Tiamat team is going to be a Wendigo with a attack boon inherited onto it. And remember what I said about inheritance, is you only want to do this if you absolutely must. And Tiamat is the only boss where I really absolutely must. Everything else I'm not going to bother with inheriting for a bit. But Tiamat, I'm going to do max inherits on all 5 of the Magicite I'm going to bring to it. But anyway, attack boon on Wendigo 2 Eisgebinds, Gizmaluk, and Krista. 2 Eisgebind is going to be 1 Deadly Strikes and 1 Fast Act. And on Gizmaluk, Dampen Fire. On Krista, Dampen Wind. So Krista and Gizmaluk are obvious. I'm going to get the Dampen Wind and the Dampened Fire from themselves. But what about the Deadly Strikes and the Fast Act? And I was thinking about this for other bosses as well. You're going to want to create, if you ever do have the ability to make inheritance or Magicite strictly for inheriting into somebody else, who's the best Magicite to farm for that? And I actually figured out that it's probably Ixion. If you can make a good Ixion team, I think you're in good hands. Because Garuda has Fast Act and Magic Boon, while Mimic Queen has Precise Strikes and Attack Boon, making them, in my opinion, the 2 most valuable Inheritance Magicite. And if you need Deadly Strikes as well, for some reason, Ixion being the defensive Magicite for Lightning, actually has Deadly Strikes. So, having a nice and consistent Ixion sub 30, I think is important. And what's also nice about this is I was looking, if you want to check this out, more shower thoughts. 6-star abilities. And they're crystals. So getting a sub 30 and getting certain types of crystals will be more advantageous than others, right? Well, so far we know of Chain Faraja, Chain Stonja, Chain Thandaja, Vortex, Explosion Strike, Rainstorm Strike, and Scorching God Strike. I was looking at the types of crystals that they take, and I see Lightning, Lightning, and Lightning on 3 of the new 6-stars. Do we have any other elements that occur that often? I see Ice twice. We don't know what's on Chain Stonja, I don't think, but it's probably the same. Well, let's see, Chain Faraja and Chain Faraga. Where's Chain Faraga? Black non-elemental fire. Black non-elemental fire. So I'm going to suppose that Chain Stonja is the exact same types as Chain Stone Ra, which would be Black, Earth, and Dark. So let's say that's Black, Earth, and Dark. We're still looking only 2 ices. Dark, 2 darks. Fire, fire, and fire. So fire is going to be a good one too. But lightning, fire. Why Darkmare? Oh, for Hand of Vengeance, Ryan? Health boon or Fast Act? Fast Act. But I'd only take Fast Act from a 4-star. I think the Fast Act from the 3-star Magicites are, what, only 3%? They're not really good. But the 8% Fast Act from 4-star are smashing. Yuffie with her glint versus Ixion and those ninja abilities gives you a really, really powerful Earth character. So that's getting, you know, the potential for powerful Earth on a banner other than the Earth banner, which is kind of cool. Yeah. So lightning crystals are going to be are useful to us as far as we know for these. Fire, fire, fire. It's only one non-elemental. Ice, ice, dark, dark, wind. Earth, earth. 2 non-elemental crystals. But that's Stonja. I think people are less... No, I don't think so. I don't think Stonja's going to be a valuable one. On the festival? Not for party, I don't think. Actually, the selection. The OSB, BSB, and ARCs, or OSB, BSB Super Soul Break selection. The Final Fantasy III is Lunith OSB, Lunith BSB, and ARC Super Soul Break 2. So that's a party physical blink, instant party physical blink, if that banner interests you. Luckily, it happens to be one of, in my opinion, one of the best banners to pull, or not, selections to pull on. If that's the same selection we get, and hopefully we do. Because that's an awesome trio of relics. Lunith's Burst Soul Break is also a plus wind spear, as well as his OSB. So anyway, I came to start thinking about this because I'm reaching the point with Tiamat where I have made every single Magicite that I need for Tiamat. So where do I go from here? That's what my thinking was. I have 2 Kristas, 2 Gizmalukes, so I have all my inheritance taking care of that. I have a Deadly Strikes ready to go for an Ice Combined. I have... I'm leveling a Garuda right now for a Fast Act, level 8. And I have an attack boon that I can give to Wendigo. I'm ready to go. I've got everything I need for Tiamat. So what do I make? What Magicites do I farm now with my Keystones? And that's what I was thinking. Ixion is going to be a good one for me because I want Lightning Crystals, and now I see that I want Fire Crystals as well. So Malorus is going to be another good farm. So instead of doing Deadly Strikes on Ixion, I'll go for Deadly Strikes from Malorus instead. And that's something I realized recently, because I'd been farming summon crystals so heavily on the summon daily on Saturdays, is that there's 4 crystal types that are unfarmable in Magicite 4-star. And that's black, white, summon, or no, black, white, power, and non-elemental. So I think I'm probably going to start farming non-elemental crystals on Saturday instead of summon, because you actually get summon crystals for killing Kraken, sub 30. So what's your crystal farm plan and anniversary? Like, what do you mean? Dailies? Oh, it's a good question. Probably black. Probably black crystals. This is disgusting. Yeah, Razor. Not only higher potency, but higher number of hits as well. Chain Faraja's 5 attacks. Chain Stonja 5. Chain Thandaja 5. Vortex is basically Meltdown, but for 3 different elements. Ice, water, and lightning. And yeah, 15.25 multiplier on those attacks versus 11.85? 11.8 on the 5-star chains. So much stronger with an extra hit. And everybody knows how good Meltdown is. I expect Vortex to be just as awesome. Because that's Ice, Water, and Lightning is obviously really cool. So yeah, I like all 4 of these abilities, and they all primary Earth or Black Crystals, so I kind of think that Black Crystals are probably the thing that we're going to be hurting for the most when those eventually come out. And yeah, it's going to be a while before those come out, so it's not like it's not like a huge pressing concern. Yeah, Eraser it is. Vivi, Maria, and Palom are gross characters. I hate that I can't look at my crystals in the Orb Exchange. That was always the button that I pressed when I wanted to take a look at my orb stash. So I have 106 black crystals at the moment. It's just not... Let's say naturally over time, if I didn't heavy farm the black crystal daily, I end up with 250 at the time these abilities get released. It's not enough. No, Dale. Cyclone Bolt removes jump time. There's no jump time on US or Soul Breaks. Do we get a free R1 copy? No. We have to make them just like we have to do the Nightmare ones. Every monthly dungeon update will have half stamina dailies. You sure about that? Shatter Ultima? No, it's not worth it. I think it's only 15 crystals. Yeah, I would be a nobody without my Ultima. It's the best thing I've ever done. They give you the record back. It literally changed my life. I'm glad that my prediction on Stitch in Time worked out the way it did. Oh, you're gonna buff it to give it plus attack? Well, physical ninjas really don't want to be spending an ability slot on this crap. Oh, it was sarcasm. Ultima's not... Ultima clears trash for me in daily dungeons. I did use it on some sub-30s, but that was, like, when Onion Knight was doing Shadow Dragon and, just the ability for him to dual cast Ultima was better than him using, Holy. But that was, like, minuscule increase in DPS. It's totally not worth the crystals that it takes to make. It was for fun. But it's not worth shattering. Thank you. I know there's no alert on screen, but I got the email, so thank you. Alright, so I said this was going to be a small stream. Definitely ended up streaming for a lot longer than I thought I was going to. Got some stuff I got to do tonight. So I'm going to get out of here, and I'll probably stream tomorrow for the first draw, just to broach the idea of people waiting with me for the 15 days. For now, Dragon, I'll probably shatter it at some point. Okay. Have a good night, everybody.